Bowl cornerback seeking a new big money contract. It was an armored truck, the driver in a bulletproof vest shouting through a megaphone, "It's time to get this money, money." Jalen Ramsey flung open the doors, revealing dozens of phony money bags and a huge smile. Ramsey's entering the final year of his $23 million rookie contract. The Jaguars want Ramsey, but are unwilling to give him an extension with 2 years remaining. Chuck Severson, ABC Sports.
Did I just screw that one up? I think I did. Let me read this here right there. Jacksonville already pays one of their corners a ton. Philly won with that. I would pay my server. Okay. Another example is Zeke Elliott. You might have the first or second best player in the league at his position, but the NFL is not the NBA. You have to get very comfortable moving off really great players. Baseball really thinks that too. I'd let my best corner Ramsey go. And so that's why I say, okay, this is why we should... let's see here. No, it says that Ramsey will earn $3.6 million this year in his fourth season, and then $13.7 million in 2020 after the team picked up his fifth-year option connected with his rookie deal. So that was a bad report that we just got. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw the cut. I thought it'd be a good lead-in to, and it turns out to be erroneous. Unless this report is erroneous, I got to call up Vito. We got to find out right there what's going on. Maybe during the break I'll try calling up Vito and find... Okay. So we'll try to figure this out with Jalen Ramsey. I might not actually be a surprise guest right here. Talk to Vito down there in Jacksonville. Vito Stellino, legendary football writer. Call him up right there. What we want to know about Tennessee basketball's 2019-20 schedule. Let's move to basketball, college basketball. It just came out right now, actually. This came over my... updated stories that, they update this on my iPhone and all this. In the SEC Big 12 Challenge, now it's been well reported, and I briefly mentioned this yesterday, that the Vols will be playing Kansas in Lawrence. Vols' out-of-season schedule looks really tough, by the way, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. But what we have is then Kentucky taking on Texas Tech in the same SEC Big 12 Challenge. All right. Now, this, and we've got Grant Ramey to tell us about this. This right now is the out-of-conference schedule as we know it for the Tennessee Volunteers. Vols will be playing Washington, and they'll be playing them in Toronto. That's on November 16th. We've discussed this. It's the James Naismith Classic. And then they will play in another tournament, World Tennessee, November 28th. This one, the Emerald Coast Classic, and they'll first take on Florida State. Florida State last played the Tennessee Volunteers on the hardwood in 1989, when the two teams were ranked in the top 20, but the Seminoles took an 11-point decision. So, now here's the problem here. Washington, you're saying, okay, how good are they? They seem to be... Washington always seems to be kind of in that UNCG mode, okay? And I know it did rather well last year, but Washington has never played Tennessee, at least not in the hardwood. But this, a couple of months ago, 3 months ago actually, they signed a 5-star center named Isaiah Stewart, who's 6'9", and the number 6 player overall in the 2019 class, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite. I, of course, say, okay, take those rankings with a grain of salt, but still, that's a pretty good reference. And so you got to figure that the Vols, without any established, front court coming into the season, are really going to have their hands full against Washington. We'll see what happens against Florida State. The winner of that game will take on the winner of Virginia Commonwealth or Purdue in that Emerald Coast Classic. And so let's see here. Of course, the loser will take on the winner. It's a Thanksgiving tournament, that Emerald Coast Classic, that will be going on. Now the other games that we know the Vols will be playing out of schedule: Memphis on December 14th. Remember what I told you yesterday? Since the initial odds came out for the college basketball season in April, people are going to think that college basketball is my favorite sport. Now, there are just so many stories going around it. Memphis, their stock to win the national title, their odds are now 14-1. Remember how Tennessee handled Memphis at Memphis this past year. Tennessee's stock, they've gone all the way down to a 60-1 shot to win the national title this upcoming season. They've dropped. Well, Memphis, thankfully for the Volunteers, the game will be played in Knoxville. So, game will be played in Knoxville. And so let's see here. The Memphis Tigers on December 14th will be able to play center James Wiseman, and he was the number 1 overall rated player in the recruiting class coming in. Remember they said Hardaway, why do we, he's going to be a great recruiter. They'll also have a 4-star power forward, DJ Jeffries, and a 3-star combo guard, Damian Baugh, and a 3-star center named Malcolm Dandridge to back up Wiseman. That's going to be very tough for Tennessee. It's going to be really tough right there. That game, last year where the Vols really, they won by more than 12 points, controversy at the end, Penny Hardaway whining, that sort of thing. Well, now Memphis will come into Knoxville. I remember, 10 years ago, they came into Knoxville and won. The interesting thing about this rivalry that's come back, this Tennessee-Memphis rivalry, is the next time they play, it's going to be in Nashville. And I got to tell you something, I love that. Because if I'm the Tennessee Volunteers and I'm the Memphis Tigers, you bet that I want to say to the Vanderbilt Commodores, nice city you have here that you allegedly call your home. I think it will work just fine for us. I mean, that's really, that is like, I don't know, that's like Alabama playing, or that's like Georgia playing in Knoxville and drawing a big crowd. Or Alabama for that matter. I mean, if you really want to, that really reinforces, keeps the bums in their place. And although I'm sure Jerry Stackhouse has something to say about that, where did the Commodores finish this past year? 4 days after the Vols will play Memphis and Knoxville on December 18th, they will travel to Cincinnati. It was 28-7 last year. They lost to Iowa in the NCAA tournament first round. They have a new coach, John Brannon, late of Northern Kentucky. They'll play in Cincinnati, as I said, and then the Bearcats in 2 seasons. In 2021, will come to Thompson Bowling Arena, but Cincinnati respected program and all that, so that doesn't get any easier for the Vols. Finally, December 28th, and we're not talking about just the SEC schedule, but Tennessee will have to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. This home-and-home series was announced during the past basketball season. It will begin in Knoxville, and let's see here, then in 2021, really probably the start of the season, the Vols will go up and take on the Badgers. But and then, of course, there is the SEC Big 12 Challenge. I forgot about that. And that usually takes place, January of 2020, I guess. The Vols, let's see here, did play in Lawrence in 2010 and ranked number 16 in the country. Bruce Pearl's team with Steve Forbes sitting on the bench as his assistant. I believe that's the kid. Was he the assistant? Yeah, in 2010, I think he was. I'll just say Bruce Pearl's team. I'm trying to remember the timeline. Vols went to Knoxville, the 16th ranked Vols. I'm sorry, that game was played in Knoxville in 2010 when the Vols upset Kansas, who was ranked number 1 in the country. Other games in the SEC Big 12 Challenge, Kentucky, Texas Tech, Baylor at Florida, Mississippi State at Oklahoma, Missouri at West Virginia, Oklahoma State at Texas A&M, LSU at Texas, Iowa State at Auburn, Kansas State at Alabama, TCU at Arkansas. That being said, the Vols have won 3 in a row in the Big 12, SEC Big 12 Challenge, but then again, played West Virginia last year. West Virginia on the hardwood was not West Virginia on the gridiron to the Tennessee Volunteers during the last season for both the football and the basketball teams. Do you know Irwin is buzzing? There you go. Irwin, Tennessee is buzzing. What do you know? Well, here's the deal. There's something that is coming to Irwin that everyone's kind of excited about. A new Food City. And the new Food City in Irwin is opening their doors this Wednesday. And you want to stay tuned to 1420 WEMB Sports Radio as well as Livewire 103.9 for more details. Why don't you keep tuned onto www.jetbroadcasting.live. So many people listen to the radio these days. So they're going to open the doors at 8 p.m. They're going to stay open until midnight, so long hours for the Food City. And you can even shop online, foodcity.com, pick up your order at the store. That's nice. I want you to think about this. You know, I mean, that was the thing 100 years ago. You didn't have to go to your grocer and, have him pick out the items. I don't want the dented can. You're getting the dented can. I don't want the bruised potato. You're getting the bruised potato. I mean, you didn't have... Now, they're not going to give you a dented can or the bruised potato. Come on, they want to make a good impression and all this. But you can actually go online and instead of trying to find all of the items, going through, and I mean, some people like this. Oh, I haven't had those kind of, I haven't had celery in so long. Let's buy some celery. That's one of the joys of food shopping. Don't get me wrong. Oh, they have the pumpkin spice coffee. I love that. I do. I mean, you've got that going. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you've got that. But if you're in a hurry, if you're a bachelor like me, come on. I mean, the last thing that a single male likes to do, not necessarily food shop. I'm not saying I don't enjoy that. After all, you get to go to the magazine rack, read the Street and Smiths for free until the manager comes out and says, "Get out of here, buy it!" But, what you do have is a circumstance where, guys aren't, generally speaking, like women that they like to go shopping. We like to be in and out. And that's what we like to do. Well, here we go. Food City gives you that opportunity. Just go foodcity.com, pick up your order at the store. The new one in Irwin opens up on Wednesday, just 6 days away. They'll open their doors 8 in the morning. And they won't close them till midnight. And then you can listen to your favorite Judas Priest songs. Maybe it isn't Living After Midnight. I've always wanted to go into a bank and, sing Breaking the Law. That's always been an ambition of mine. But then again, it's always been an ambition of mine to stay out of the federal penitentiary. So I never quite know how to handle that. It's just one of the things. It's sort of... This just in, and this saddens me. I had heard the rumors. I had heard them. Pittsburgh Steelers have given Mike Tomlin an extension through the 2021 season. I know the Steelers' way of doing things is make the coach God and keep him, and, we want to have that establishment and so on and so forth, and I know that his fans say he's never had a losing record, but I wonder how much of that is he's got a great quarterback, he's got a great organization, he's got a place where it's really difficult to lose. They haven't had a losing season in Pittsburgh since 2003. Here's the deal. The Steelers should have made the playoffs last year. They had the best team. They couldn't beat out a quarterback for the division title who had 3 passing yards for 3 quarters in the playoff game. But they gave the coach an extension.